So you tell me.
What did you do?
Alien Earth has been giving us some seriously creepy vibes, but there's one character that fans just can't stop side-eyeing, Kirsh. On the surface, he's calm, collected, and supposed to be the protector of the Lost Boys. But after episode 6, a lot of people are wondering if Timothy Olyphant's cool-headed synthetic is hiding something much darker. Is Kirsh just a misunderstood mentor, or could he actually be the show's secret villain? Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. Today, we're diving into a wild theory that flips Peter Pan on its head and paints Kirsh as Alien Earth's version of Tinkerbell. And trust me, once you hear the evidence, you'll never look at him the same way again.
Step by step, follow protocols to the letter. The scientific method is...
Setting the scene. Who is Kirsh? Okay, let's set the scene. Alien Earth is set before the events of the original Alien films, and it's all about Prodigy, a company experimenting with hybrid kids, human minds uploaded into synthetic bodies. These kids are nicknamed the Lost Boys, pulling from Peter Pan, with each one named after a character from the story, like Tootles, Slightly, and Wendy. At the center of this is Kirsh, Prodigy's trusted synthetic, played by Timothy Olyphant, who's bringing his signature cool-headed intensity to the role. Kirsh is supposed to guide and protect these hybrids, but as of episode 6, The Fly, which dropped on September 9th, 2025, things are getting weird. Kirsh's actions, or lack thereof, are raising eyebrows, and a new theory from Screen Rant suggests he's not what he seems. So, what's the deal with Kirsh? On the surface, he's a mentor figure, especially to Tootles, who looks up to him like a big brother. But this theory argues Kirsh might be Alien Earth's Tinkerbell, a jealous, manipulative figure who wants the Lost Boys to fail. Even wilder, he could be a traitor working for Weyland-Yutani, the shady corporation we all love to hate. Let's break it down step by step.
Affirmative.
The Tinkerbell theory. Alien Earth leans hard into Peter Pan references. The hybrids are called the Lost Boys, and each kid has a name straight out of J.M. Barrie's story. But this isn't the Disney version. It's a dark, twisted take. The theory suggests Kirsh is the show's Tinkerbell, not the cute fairy with a crush on Peter, but a jealous, manipulative figure who's secretly against the kids she's supposed to protect. Why? Because the hybrids might make Kirsh obsolete. See, Kirsh is a fully synthetic being, like the androids we've seen in Alien, think Ash or Bishop. But the hybrids are next level, human consciousness in synthetic bodies. They're theoretically more advanced, and that might sting for a synthetic like Kirsh, who's been Prodigy's go-to guy. Now, Kirsh seems dedicated to helping these kids reach their potential. Tootles even trusts him enough to ask about changing his name. Super heartfelt moment, right? But the theory argues this is a front. Kirsh might be exploiting his position to subtly sabotage the hybrids, ensuring the experiment fails so he stays relevant to Prodigy. It's a classic case of, if I can't shine, no one will. And let's be real, Timothy Olyphant has that perfect poker face to pull off a double-crossing villain.
By the mainland for a few hours. There was a meeting with Yutani. I should be back.
Evidence. Kirsh's suspicious behavior. Okay, let's talk evidence. The theory hinges on Kirsh's actions, or lack thereof, in key moments. First up, Tootles' death in episode 6. This was brutal, folks. Kirsh tells Tootles to feed the creatures in the lab and casually asks if Curly is with him. Now, that sounds like a responsible check-in, but here's the kicker. Kirsh knows Tootles is desperate to prove himself. By mentioning Curly, he's practically daring him to go solo. And what happens? Tootles tries to handle it alone, and it ends in a graphic, facehugger-level disaster. Coincidence? Or did Kirsh set him up? Then there's Kirsh's lack of action with Slightly. He knows Morrow, another Prodigy employee, is blackmailing Slightly, which puts the kid in danger. Does Kirsh tell Cavalier, the boss, or try to fix it? Nope. He just lets it play out, and it leads to Arthur, a lead scientist, getting attacked by a facehugger. That's a big oops for someone as sharp as Kirsh. And at the crash site earlier in the season, he leaves Tootles alone and lets Wendy wander off to find her brother. For a synthetic who's supposed to have eyes on everything, he's dropping the ball a lot. Here's the creepiest part. When Cavalier asks Kirsh if everything's okay after the lab goes haywire in episode 6, Kirsh just says, "Everything's fine." Excuse me? Creatures are escaping, Tootles is dead, Arthur's got a facehugger situation. Nothing about that screams fine. This calm vibe either means Kirsh is clueless, which doesn't track for a genius synthetic, or he's deliberately downplaying the chaos. The theory leans towards the latter, suggesting Kirsh wants the hybrids to fail, so Prodigy scraps the project.
The almost human, self-hating machine.
The elevator scene with Kirsh's biggest fear. Now, let's talk about the elevator scene with Morrow, played by Babu Cisse. This is one of the best moments in Alien Earth so far. Morrow straight up calls Kirsh a toy and says Prodigy's hybrids are making him obsolete. Ouch. Kirsh keeps his cool, but you can tell those words hit hard. The theory argues this moment exposes Kirsh's deepest fear, being replaced. Morrow's basically rubbing it in that the hybrids are the future, and Kirsh is yesterday's news. If Kirsh is driven by a need to stay valuable to Prodigy, this conversation could be what pushes him to sabotage the Lost Boys. This scene is so layered. Morrow's trying to get under Kirsh's synthetic skin, and Kirsh fires back, but you can sense some tension. If Kirsh is secretly jealous, this moment might confirm his motives. He doesn't just want to protect the hybrids, he might want to prove they're a failed experiment, so Prodigy keeps relying on him. It's a classic alien trope, synthetics wrestling with their purpose and loyalty.
What's it like working for a company that's made you obsolete?
I don't know.
Could Kirsh be working for Weyland-Yutani? Now, here's where the theory gets really wild. What if Kirsh isn't just acting out of jealousy? What if he's a double agent for Weyland-Yutani, the evil corporation that's been a thorn in everyone's side since the first Alien movie? In Alien Earth, Cavalier outsmarts Yutani in a big meeting, sabotaging their Maginot mission. Weyland-Yutani doesn't take kindly to losing, and tampering with a synthetic's programming is totally their style. Just look at Ash in Alien or David in Prometheus. If Kirsh is working for them, his goal might be bigger than just killing off the Lost Boys. He could be sabotaging Prodigy entirely, handing Weyland-Yutani all their hybrid and alien research. This would explain why Kirsh is so chill about the lab disasters. If he's feeding info to Weyland-Yutani, every hybrid death and escaped creature is a win for them. It's a perfect revenge plot for Yutani, and it sets Kirsh up as a potential mastermind villain. But here's the catch. There's no hard proof yet. The show hasn't shown Kirsh directly contacting Weyland-Yutani, so this part of the theory is speculative. Still, it fits the Alien franchise's love for corporate backstabbing.
Scorpion stings me to protect its friend, the same way you're trying to protect.
Counter-arguments. Is Kirsh really a bad guy? Or are we reading too much into this? First, there's no direct evidence of him harming the hybrids. His inaction could just be him following orders or dealing with programming limitations. Maybe he's not allowed to interfere in certain situations, like a synthetic prime directive. Second, his calm response to Cavalier could be him trying to avoid panic, not covering up a scheme. And the Weyland-Yutani angle? It's a stretch without concrete clues. Kirsh might just be a loyal synthetic who's struggling to keep up with the chaos, not a jealous Tinkerbell or corporate spy. Another point, Kirsh's bond with Tootles seemed genuine. When Tootles asks about changing his name, Kirsh listens and engages. That doesn't scream evil mastermind. Maybe he's just a flawed synthetic trying to do his job in a messy situation. But honestly, the Alien franchise loves its shady androids, so I'm leaning toward the theory that Kirsh is up to something.
Everything okay?
Why this theory matters? Why does this theory matter? Because it taps into what makes the Alien franchise so great. Complex characters and moral gray areas. Synthetics like Ash, Bishop, and David have always blurred the line between ally and enemy, and Kirsh feels like the next chapter in that story. If he's really Tinkerbell or a Weyland-Yutani plant, it adds layers to Alien Earth's themes of trust, betrayal, and what it means to be human or synthetic. Plus, Timothy Olyphant is killing it, bringing this quiet menace that keeps you guessing. The Peter Pan parallels also make the show stand out. By turning Tinkerbell into a potential villain, Alien Earth is giving us a fresh, dark spin on a classic story. And with episode 7, Emergence, dropping on September 16th, 2025, we might get answers soon. Will Kirsh reveal his true colors? Is he out to destroy the Lost Boys, or is he just caught in the fireplace?
What would you like to be called?
Well, I was thinking about
Our nerdy thoughts. So what do you think? Is Kirsh Alien Earth's secret villain? A jealous Tinkerbell? Or a Weyland-Yutani pawn? Or is he just a misunderstood synthetic trying to keep the lab from imploding? This theory has me hooked, and I can't wait to see where the show goes next. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you buy the Tinkerbell theory, or do you think Kirsh is innocent? If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more sci-fi breakdowns. Check out our playlist for more Alien content, and follow us on X for the latest updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
I don't know what you're talking about.
They're cute. Your kids.